So let's talk about the one thing literally every company on the planet wants: sustainable revenue growth. The thing is, for most, achieving it feels like, well, a total guessing game. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful framework called the Bowtie Model that can turn all that guesswork into a science. So let's dive right into this idea of the growth guessing game. The biggest hurdle for most businesses isn't that they don't want to grow. It's that they have no idea precisely what to fix to make that growth happen. Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about it. Imagine you have this sharp pain in your stomach. You call your doctor and you say, "Hey, I think it might be my appendix." And they just go, "Okay, we'll schedule surgery for tomorrow." You'd hang up that phone so fast, right? Of course you would, because that's not just bad medicine, it's malpractice. And yet, businesses do the exact same thing all the time. They jump straight to a solution. We need more leads, or let's slash our prices, without any kind of proper data-backed diagnosis of what the actual problem is. And that's exactly where revenue operations, or RevOps, comes into the picture. You can think of it as the business world's version of a full medical workup. It's the science of looking at your entire revenue engine, all of it, to get that critical data-backed diagnosis. Now, to really perform this diagnosis correctly, we have to evolve. We need to move past the one tool most companies have been relying on for decades: the old traditional sales funnel. For as long as I can remember, the sales funnel has been the default way to think about growth. And look, it's simple, it's familiar, but it has a massive, massive blind spot. And here it is, the old classic. The idea is you pour a bunch of prospects in the top through awareness and interest, you shake it up a bit, and hopefully a few customers pop out the bottom. The whole model is focused on one single thing: landing that first sale. And this right here is the killer flaw. The customer's journey doesn't just stop when they pay you. In reality, that's where the real relationship actually begins. It's where the potential for huge growth really kicks in, and the funnel, it just completely ignores all of that. So what we really need is a better model, and that's where the bow tie comes in. See, where the funnel is all about the company and stops at the sale, the bow tie is all about the customer and looks at their entire life cycle, especially what happens after the deal is closed. It's not a straight line, it's a continuous loop. Okay, so how does this bow tie model actually give us that diagnosis we were talking about? Well, it's all powered by tracking three simple but incredibly powerful types of metrics all the way across the customer journey. First up is volume. We just call it M. This is the easy one. It's just the raw count. It answers the simple question: how many? How many people visited the website? How many demos did we book? It's all about the quantity. Next, we've got conversion, or C. Now, this one is all about your efficiency. It answers the question: how effective are we? Out of all the people who saw a demo, what percentage actually bought something? This is what tells you where your process is strong and, more importantly, where it's leaking like a sieve. And finally, the third piece of the puzzle: time, or what we call velocity. This is delta T. This answers the question: how fast are we? How many days does it take to get a new customer fully onboarded and using the product? Speed is such a critical and, honestly, an often overlooked part of a healthy business. And here is how it all comes together beautifully. The bow tie maps out the entire customer journey, pre-sale and post-sale. And at every single stage, from a person becoming a lead, to that lead becoming a customer, to that customer expanding their account, you are tracking volume, conversion, and time. This gives you that complete, data-driven health report of your entire business. Now, this health report is where things get really, really powerful, because now we can finally move from diagnosis to action. This is the core of RevOps. The data doesn't just show you a problem, it tells you exactly which lever to pull to fix it. It turns out, when you boil it all down, there are really only 4 ways to grow a business. You can increase the volume of people coming in, you can get better at conversion, you can improve your customer retention, or you can increase the average deal size or lifetime value of each customer. That's it. Those are the 4 levers. And here is the magic trick. Let's say your volume of new leads is huge, but your conversion rate from lead to sale is terrible. Well, you don't need more leads. You need to pull the conversion lever. Or maybe customers are signing up but then leaving after just a couple of months. That's a time and conversion problem on the right side of the bow tie, screaming at you to pull the retention lever. See? The guesswork is gone. All right, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But let's look at a couple of real-world examples of how this data-driven diagnosis actually works to find and plug some major revenue leaks. So check this out. One company, they started tracking their time and conversion metrics really closely, and they found something shocking about their marketing leads. Turns out, those leads basically had a shelf life of 5 days. After day 5, the chance of them ever converting dropped to almost zero. But their sales team, they were still working them for 10 full days, which means they were wasting half their time on leads that were already dead. So what happened? They used that data to pull the conversion lever. All they did was tell their reps, hey, stop all outreach on these leads after day 5 and just focus on the fresh ones. And the result? They grew their revenue by 33%. No new software, no extra marketing spend, just one simple data-driven process change. Incredible. Here's another one. A RevOps team was just auditing their commission reports, and they found this massive leak. The company was paying full commissions to salespeople for deals where the customer never actually finished the onboarding process. They never even went live. They were literally paying for revenue that never even existed, which was absolutely crushing their customer lifetime value. So the fix was a classic RevOps play that focused on the deal size and LTV lever. First, they changed the comp plan so that reps only got their full commission after the client was successfully onboarded. Makes sense, right? And second, they built a much better structured handoff process between the sales and onboarding teams so no one could fall through the cracks. They plugged a huge leak just by connecting the dots. And that's really the whole point of this. Using a framework like the Bowtie Model, you move your growth strategy away from I think we have a problem with to the data proves we have a problem with. It is a complete game changer because it gives you a way to find these verifiable, undeniable facts about your business. So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. If you aren't tracking your entire customer lifecycle with this kind of detail, what huge opportunities for growth are you missing? What giant revenue leaks are just hiding there, right in plain sight?